We asked on Instagram and Twitter for you to give us some of your questions, and we're gonna go through them and answer as many as we can. Let's just get right started. That's not a thing. Let's just get right into it.
Okay, from YouTube, where's the space that you shoot your videos in? It looks amazing.
Our space is called The Haunt, and it's just downtown Los Angeles, close by to where we live. And we have our shooting space here, and we have a co-working space next door, and you can check out the space at thehauntla.com.
Yeah,
you can rent it.
You can rent the space and you can go work with us.
Do you think you'll always do YouTube? What would happen to you both professionally if it vanished?
We won't always do YouTube. And what would happen to us if it vanished?
I think we just keep working, keep taking photos, keep making videos. There'll always be a platform for that. So I think we would just adapt and find the next thing that people are going to for that.
Yeah, I think I would be a gamer on Twitch.
Mission failed.
Foolish mistakes you've done that you wish you hadn't when you were beginners.
Well, when we shot weddings, we charged very little. We gave them unlimited hours. That was just like so exhausting.
Yeah, the first year we charged $700 for unlimited hour weddings and unlimited photos.
And we also kind of edited too trendy, so like we lifted the blacks a lot, and it just like when we look back at those photos, we're just like, we kind of shudder in disgust.
Get like shivers in a bad way.
So how many hours a day do you shoot? Is it worth it just in golden hour or a whole day's worth? So it depends on the project. So
Yeah.
for a wedding, you're obviously shooting the entire day. But for when we do shoots now, we usually just pick the time of day that we want to shoot and just shoot for like an hour. Golden hour is usually the best, honestly. Since lighting is such a huge part of photography, you really want the lighting to be on your side. So yeah, we usually just shoot later in the day when the light's lower in the sky.
Yeah, or sunrise. Okay, so best free iPhone apps to edit pictures, best free video editing app for Mac or iPhone.
So the best photo editing app on your phone, I think, is probably Snapseed and Visco. For video editing, I really like DaVinci Resolve. You get the light version for free, and it's like super powerful. It's really good for color grading and now for video editing too.
Yeah, and for your iPhone, I think there's like an iMovie app for your iPhone.
Yeah, we don't really edit videos on a phone. All right, next question. What is your absolute favorite genre of photography to shoot, and what is your most hated?
Okay, for favorites, I think portraiture and concerts or music photography.
I like the more editorial, fashiony type of portraiture. And least favorite, I don't like the creepy guy photographer shooting like mostly naked women, where it's like probably not very creative or inspiring.
Yeah, it's just weird. Okay, how old are you guys?
How about this for ID? I participated in Hands Across America.
How do you come up with your photography style, and would you ever try a new style out?
So I think that your style comes when you just shoot what you like and what you want to shoot, instead of like trying to stay on a trend or shoot like somebody else. Just shooting what you want to shoot and putting your own twist on it.
Yeah, and the more you shoot, the more you realize what you really like doing, what you don't like doing.
Yeah.
So just shooting a lot really helps you kind of narrow that down.
What's the last part of that question?
And would you ever try out a new style? Definitely. Like, it's easy to get bored shooting the same stuff, so I would definitely like to do more like studio lighting, some gel lighting.
Come to Toronto, please. We did that. We have a video we collabed with Peter McKinnon.
I'm not Mango Street.
It's a really small YouTuber. You should go check it out.
We shot in each other's styles in Toronto.
Underexposed or overexposed for portraits and streets? If you're shooting digital, I would say underexposed a little to retain some of the highlights. And if you're shooting film, if anything, you can go on the overexposed side and it'll retain highlights better than digital.
Yeah. How did you guys meet? We made a video on that.
In January, we met for the first time.
Facebook. What are your Enneagrams?
I'm a 4, hard 4.
I'm a 9.
Wait, do the Larry David joke, Curb Your Enthusiasm, when he's like, I'm a 4, baby. Do that for me.
Yeah, Garner, you hear
Garner.
that?
I'm a 4, baby.
What makes you feel alive?
2019 presets. Also, did Rachel tease some new merch?
2019 presets, probably. And as far as new merch goes,
Maybe, we might consider it.
okay, let's show them. This shirt, and this. Have you guys done any photos underwater? Any tips on this? Yes, we have a video on it. You can watch it.
But tips, I think it takes a lot of practice because it is super hard.
Yeah, it's not the same thing as shooting above water at all.
We're not good at it, so we don't have any solid tips for you. What made you guys want to start doing photography and videography? For me, I always liked both, but I was more interested in music. So once I realized like the audio career path wasn't so great, I went back to I was like, I'll just do video editing because I like doing that. So I taught myself video editing.
Is it important for a photographer to have a certain style or be more diverse? I think that if you have your own style and you stand out from the crowd, then you'll get more work. You'll be more successful.
But it depends on what you want to do. Like if you just want to be freelance, it could be good to just really be a really good product photographer. So then anytime anyone needs a product photographer, they think of you. If you like working at like an agency or something, maybe it's more useful to just kind of be like a Swiss Army knife and just like have a lot of different capabilities and skill sets. Will you guys be making a switch to mirrorless anytime soon? We actually shoot both. We have the Canon EOS R mirrorless camera, and we take that with us a lot of places because it's so lightweight and small, but we also still shoot on our 1DX and the 5D4. Yeah, we shoot both.
Where do you hope photography takes you?
Hawaii,
That's what I was gonna say.
Greenland,
Isles of Skye,
Antarctica,
Japan.
Norway. What, in your opinion, is the best way to start making money with photography? I think for us, shooting weddings was a really good way to get started.
That's how a lot of people do it.
You shoot a lot in a lot of uncontrolled environments, so you learn your camera really well, you learn how to work with people, you learn how to run a business, so that's like a really good way to cut your teeth, honestly.
Favorite lens to use currently and lens that you look forward to the most? So we're kind of minimalist with lenses, I think. We pretty much only stick to 2 or 3, but really our favorite lenses are the 35mm and the 24mm, and then every once in a while we use the 85.
Right.
Are you looking forward to a lens?
I'm not really gear doesn't excite me that much, so. Is there always money in the banana stand?
I wasn't gonna give him the pleasure. All right, roll the GIF.
There's always money in the banana stand!
What is the optimal lighting for a photo shoot? Shooting in direct sunlight is so hard and trying to shoot in the shade isn't any easier. I need some tips, please.
Don't go out at like 1 p.m. That's a terrible time to shoot usually.
Yeah, if you can control it, then shoot at sunrise or sunset. And then if you're shooting like a wedding where you have to be out all day long, bringing something like a reflector, they're super cheap. You can have somebody hold it and diffuse the light. You can also, in the shade, use it to bounce light on your subjects.
We wait until the light looks really good, and that's just gonna make your job so much easier as a photographer.
Yeah, and honestly, shooting in the shade is pretty ideal if you have,
Yeah, nice even light on the face, so it works great for portraits.
Yeah.
Shooting and editing, which do you guys think is more important? I'm dying to know. They both go hand in hand with each other. Editing should complement the shooting. Over-editing a bad shot is like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, so like,
You can't save a bad photo with over-editing it. Bad editing can
ruin a good photo. You know what I mean? Better to invest in L lenses or go for the cheaper Sigma art lenses. I think if it's in your budget, then the L lenses are definitely better. A lot of people have a lot of feelings about this.
Yeah, some people swear by the Sigmas, and I had one Sigma and I didn't really like it, so when we had the opportunity, we upgraded it to the L version, and that was the 24mm, but some people have them and they love them, so I would say whatever works in your budget.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
The theory is that Sigma lenses aren't consistent because some people they swear by them. Every Sigma lens that I've used has always been
Not sharp,
and takes forever to focus.
More chromatic aberration.
Yeah. So maybe they're just not consistent. Maybe for some people they are great.
Just maybe you could start cheap, and then if you realize that it's not the right lens for you, you could sell it and then get a better lens. How's your dog? He's good.
How to get started with concert photography. To get started with concert photography, like one way that always worked for us is if you want to shoot a bigger band, then hit up the smaller bands on the tour. They're usually easy to reach and they usually are stoked to have photos of them, and you get a pass for the entire show, so then you can shoot the bands you want to shoot to.
Yeah, and the other way is just to like go to a smaller show, like a club show where they don't care if you bring in a DSLR, and just bring in your camera and shoot from the crowd. And we've done that several times too, so that's a good way to do it. Your suggestions for a photographer who wants to go full-time from a hobbyist part-timer? Well, I think you have to build up client base, or you just have to have enough work to sustain yourself. I mean, if you're really ballsy, you could go full-time without having full-time income and just really hustle really hard to make it happen for you because you have to and you don't have any other choice.
There's like a sweet spot, and there's a certain personality where if you have to make it happen, especially if you have a family or something.
But it kind of depends on your risk tolerance, so you only can answer that for yourself. But really, it's just like building up the client base, like word of mouth, really good client interaction, so they feel like they get a really good value from you as a photographer.
Best wedding photographer outfit, comfortable. Realistically, is like jumpsuits and comfy shoes.
For me, for most weddings, I can wear like black Vans and black jeans, and then just like a button down and maybe a tie. All right, next question. Do you need to pay some bills really quickly?
Yes. Where would you go to get access to over 25,000 classes covering photography, design, business, and more?
Skillshare. Cooking classes even? Yep.
Music production classes even?
Yep. Parkour lessons?
How do you know about Skillshare?
Well, we found it organically a long time ago and we've just been using it ever since. Thanks for asking. Do you have to be rich to use Skillshare?
Well, that all depends on whether or not a rich guy would pay less than $10 a month for an annual subscription. Do you have a discount code?
That's another great question. I don't know if we have an actual discount code, but we do have a custom link that'll give you a free 2-month trial for the first 500 people who sign up. So check that out in the description.
Is this ad spot over now?
Yep. Okay, where does Rachel buy her clothes?
So I try to shop ethically. The big places that I shop are Everlane and American Apparel, or I thrift stuff, or I shop in our merch closet, or I only wear Brian Fallon band merch or My Kinsella band merch, or I wear your stuff.
Also true.
Are you planning on making more narrative shorts in the future? Sure. Those are our favorite things to make, I think.
Macro lenses for portraits, yay or nay? I've like shot with a macro lens once in my life. We don't have one, so try it out.
Yeah, so we have a video about using lenses in ways that they're not traditionally used. It's called Rethink Your Lenses. Give it a shot. Yeah. Where do you usually come up with your best ideas? The bathtub or on jogs?
I get my best ideas from Rachel. How do y'all find amazing models?
We did a video on this.
Being in LA helps because there's like a ton of amazing models around.
How come you, Rachel, don't allow people to comment on your Instagram photos?
I just want
Who do you look up to? I can't pick just one person. Okay, my top 3, Anthony Bourdain, Sylvia Plath, and Bo Burnham. Yours is probably like Taylor Swift or something.
I don't look up to her, are you kidding me? She's a great business mind though. I don't look up to anyone.
You don't look up to anyone?
I know.
That's good though. You shouldn't have heroes. It's just let you down.
Do you think state town matters when it comes to being a successful freelancer? Definitely. If you're like in a really small town where no one really cares about having great photography or videos for their business, or there's just like not enough money in it, and yeah, you might need to move somewhere where there's like a bigger market, more opportunity, more money.
That being said, don't let that be an excuse though, because in this day and age, you can make a living online.
From anywhere.
From anywhere.
Yeah.
Like we could do this channel from anywhere, but it definitely is easier and you definitely
Yeah.
have an advantage in a big city. What are your favorite spots in LA to eat and hang out? My kitchen and my living room.
In-N-Out and Purgatory Pizza. What do you do when you don't feel inspired?
Yeah, sometimes when you're like drained creatively, I think it's important to like fill yourself back up by, you could go to an art museum, you could read a inspirational book, you could watch a movie that really, inspires you.
Yeah, look
I'm saying
at
the same
like
words.
other creative sources instead of like photography or video.
Yeah, I feel like we live in a day and age where you feel like you have to constantly, every day, be creative, and that's not sustainable. Sound music sources. So we use, almost exclusively, we use Artlist for our songs, and more recently Daniel's been writing a lot of the songs for our videos.
Also, and for sound effects, Audio Hero has a bunch, and we had like a free membership there. I think it's pretty cheap though. You can also go to freesound.org and get a bunch of free sounds. Sometimes I'll pull out my iPhone on the voice memos and just like record, if we're by a waterfall or something like that, just record that with your phone. What least expensive piece of gear do you have that you often find yourself using the most?
We use like our Hero 7 GoPro. So I think the least expensive thing that we use all the time is we bought our friend an Osmo.
Oh yeah, the Osmo Pocket.
And then we bought it for him and now we just borrow it from him.
I mean, there's like more utilitarian things like this leather camera strap we have. We really like that.
For a long time, that 40mm pancake lens was super cheap, and like we would bring that if we were just going out on like a day trip or something, because it easily fits into your bag and it gets the job done. Male portrait on smartphone. You're literally describing a video that we just did that you can watch.
Oh yeah, with Matthew McFate.
Yeah.
It's we shot with the Samsung Note 9. It was actually really awesome, and it was a really fun shoot. What are some common myths in photography that you would like to bust?
I think a lot of people equate your follower count to how good your photography is, when it couldn't be farther from the truth.
Yeah. Even some employers look at that, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. That doesn't make you a good photographer.
I'm sure there's like a threshold where once you pass it, you're probably like not that good of a photographer. I think it's better if many people don't like your work.
Meaning real art takes courage, okay, and honesty.
Like instead of just having like motel art,
Motel art.
I think it's better to displease people.
When do I use the Oxford comma? Every time.
Where to draw the line between taking pictures of strangers / creating art and invading privacy?
I think that's a good question, and I think it's a fine line, and it's hard to know what it is, and sometimes we cross it.
Sometimes you'll cross it and you'll find out when you do.
And you feel really, really bad about it.
And even so, like in the US, where it's perfectly legal to take pictures where, like in public, where there's no expectation of privacy, if you want to be courteous, you can ask people before you do so, even if you have a legal right to.
It kind of also ruins the moment, though.
It does. That's why I think the best street photographers probably don't ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a fine line, and you know, there's been some exchanges that have not been very good because of it.
Yeah, or like they just look so sad and they walk away, and you feel like you've ruined their day, and it feels really bad.
Yeah, you don't want to exploit people, and you don't want to make them feel bad. That's why we don't shoot it that often, honestly, I think, because it makes me feel like weird.
One lens for everything. One lens to rule them all.
35.
They have 35 if I had to pick one lens.
What's your favorite place to shoot? I like the Faroe Islands.
I love a place that's overcast all the time.
Foggy. I love good fog.
Do you, Daniel, and Carlton have personal passion projects separate from work stuff? I picked this question because you have so much passion.
Thank you.
Projects. So many passion projects.
My current one is I'm working on music, which I did back in the day, and I took a long break from it. Check out my SoundCloud. Generation_lost.
Okay, my passion projects are working out, laying by the pool, reading by the pool, writing. I'd like to say drumming, but I stopped doing that, and learning French, but I slacked on that.
Did you ever imagine you would be where you are today doing what you're doing? No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Mostly because I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be an audio engineer, and I thought I was just going to be a motion graphics artist.
I thought I was going to be a teacher.
You quote up for a job and then end up doing more work. Should you adjust your quote, post the shoot, or let it fly? And okay, so this depends on the client, this depends on like your relationship with them, and it depends on the amount of work. So usually, if it's like a more corporate type thing, you would say this rate includes like 2 revisions or something like that, or this amount of deliverables. So usually it's like all spelled out in the scope of work, and if for some reason they need more things, then you'd be like, yeah, I can do that for you. It'll just be this much money to do this kind of edit, or to do one more revision. So I would say in those instances, it's okay to charge more as long as the scope of work is really clear in what you're going to give them, so they're not surprised by that.
Tips for contacting brands and businesses about shooting their products/events. We did a whole video on this, and not a lot of people watched it, and we'll link it in the description.
It's called How to Get Your Dream Clients or something.
Yeah, it's filled with juicy info.
It's a really short video, but it's packed full.
Yeah, it makes me really nervous to put it out there because I feel like everyone's gonna take all of our brand deals that we worked so hard to get.
Do you guys create only for social media platforms or still shoot for yourself?
We talk about all the time how we don't really shoot for ourselves anymore. Like YouTube, like putting up these videos is kind of a hamster wheel. We have to do it every week, and so a lot of times we're just shooting for videos.
It doesn't leave us much time or want to just shoot for ourselves even.
So lately, at least for me, my intention has been to make YouTube videos into shoots that I want to do anyway. Yeah, recently we got to do a dream shoot in Montauk, and we turned it into a video. Yeah, and that'll come out soon.
Do you ever feel pressure to act different in front of the camera instead of being yourselves?
No, I don't. We're not capable of acting different anywhere. We're not capable of acting.
If you've seen our Squarespace ads, you know we can't act. Like, this is pretty, what you see is what you get, kind of. Yeah. We're pretty low-key people.
We're equally boring in real life. And also, like, it feels really disingenuous to act in front of the camera or to turn, like, a personality on. How did you become so good at editing? I'm having a hard time learning how to edit properly.
Well, photo editing, I think it's just like getting in Lightroom or whatever you use and just like play with every parameter and see how it affects the photo. And one thing I used to do is I used to like want to know how to edit like someone, so I would just spend a really long time looking at like a reference photo and then trying to figure out how I could get there using Lightroom. And so it was just like every single parameter, mess with it, and then that way you know like how it affects the photo, and then in the future you know, okay, if I move that camera calibration, -10 is going to do that, or whatever. So just really spending the time to like dig in. But I started using Lightroom before I even did photography. I've been using Lightroom for like 10 years.
What I was going to say is just check out all of these videos that we have about editing.
Favorite YouTuber?
Okay. I always love getting this question because I love plugging our friends who are so good and a lot of people don't know about them, like our friend Daniel Diarco.
He's probably the best.
He's probably the best YouTuber, photographer.
He doesn't post often, but when he posts, it's a winner.
Yeah. Let's talk about who versus whom. I personally always like whom.
It's whom when it's the object of the sentence and who when it's the subject.
That sounds right.
Well, it sounds right, but is it?
How did Ryan use it as an object?
As an object.
Ryan used me as an object.
Favorite office scene ever?
What's the best way to export a video?
So we use Premiere, and they have exporting presets. So for YouTube, I honestly just use our YouTube export preset. Are y'all husband and wife? Did you not watch our wedding video?
How to direct models, how to communicate ideas, what's your favorite verb? Okay, cut to frumpy little slurm. I like frumpy sad, yeah.
Grumpy sad, yeah.
How can you preview CR3 files without opening them in Lightroom? So I know in Photo Mechanic, if you have the newer version of Photo Mechanic, you can do so. Otherwise, you might need to update Adobe Camera Raw. Favorite song off the new American Football album?
Heir Apparent or like Uncomfortably Numb. How do you contact model agencies? You call them, email them.
Just go to the website and see if they have like a contact for shooting like fresh faces or testing models. Tips for shooting underlit concert venues and getting crisp shots. This is where I think the gear is really important.
Yeah, this is like one of the rare occasions.
So having like a fast lens that'll shoot like f1.4 really helps open up the aperture, let in a lot of light. But then of course you have to nail your focus, so it's all kind of a balancing act. I think usually I would shoot like on servo, AI servo for Canon cameras. Yeah, I would say if you can open up your aperture like all the way, give it a shot.
What would you do if you had to stop taking photos one day? I recently addressed this on Instagram, and mine is, okay, forever I dreamed about being a mailman in like a really warm place where you deliver the mail on foot. Or more recently, it's being John Mulaney's wife.
How do you guys come up with shorts that has such a smooth flow every time? I think pre-production helps a lot, so plan out if there's gonna be like a script or a voiceover or whatever, and then plan out what shots you need to like, accommodate that. And then just hone your editing skills.
Yeah, it's all about storytelling, so get that right up front. What is your favorite song, album, playlist, podcast, TV show in the background to edit to? A song for you?
Song, just pick a Taylor Swift song, any of them.
Okay, mine would be an Owen song. It's good background music. Probably The Armoire. Album?
My favorite album to edit to is Gone Now by Bleachers.
Okay, my current favorite is probably the new American Football one. Podcast?
Reply All, Heavyweight.
Yeah, all the Gimlet Media ones.
Yeah.
Oh, and then lately, I've been listening to Conan O'Brien's podcast, or like comedian podcasts. It's pretty good. And then TV show?
The Office, Parks and Rec.
Yeah, 30 Rock, Community.
If you had to shoot a video for any band, what band would it be?
Okay, well, we've shot videos for bands a few times before. For our friends in You Blew It and Braid, and then more recently we did a music video for
Savoir D'Or.
Savoir D'Or. Yeah, but if I could shoot any band's music video, it would probably be your band.
My band?
Or Brian Fallon's band.
Probably Brian Fallon.
What would yours be?
Yeah, like Gaslight Anthem or Brian Fallon.
How do you find a creative motivation for taking photos when you have no subjects? I like this question because you just have to get creative. You can take self-portraits, you can shoot landscapes, you can shoot your dog, like just get creative with what you have.
Go-to Mario Kart characters.
Yoshi.
Great question. Mine's Mario.
The goal.
Kind of basic, but.
Yoshi, isn't that everybody's? Best way to store, organize photo and video files? We did a video on this, you can watch it.
Yeah, just as long as you have structure and as long as you stick to the same like hierarchy and the same naming convention, whatever works for you. What's your favorite photo you've ever taken? I don't have one.
You don't have one? I know, I kind of don't either, but then I was thinking about it, and I think it's a photo that I took of my mom when she was like riding on a mini bike a long time ago, because she's so happy. Do you know what photo I'm talking about? She doesn't let me put her pictures on the internet though, so I don't know if I can post it in here. Maybe I'll do it in blur face or something.
I don't like most of my photography, honestly.
Yeah, same, but I like my mom. Would you ever stop shooting Canon and go with a brand like Fujifilm? We're not brand loyal. Canon's, like all of our cameras get the job done. If something else came along that did a better job, we would do it.
We're not so like quick to jump ship. It has to be like something seriously wrong with what we have. Yeah, we've stuck with Canon so far. Give us a 10-second tattoo tour.
I can do it in 4 seconds.
Go.
Well, I can't right now, but maybe I'll show photos.
Okay. I got this tattoo, and then
10 seconds, Daniel.
got 2 ghosts on the phone. Got this boot with some flowers. Oh, we got matching ghost tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
At our wedding party, we had a tattoo artist come. I have the California bear here with the Chicago stars above it.
Oh, and your tramp stamp.
No, we don't.
What's your favorite Bo Burnham song? We listen to or watch Make Happy like a minimum of 3 times a week, probably. So all of the songs from there, but especially the country music song and then the song at the end.
Crinkle can burrito
Yeah.
song. What is your process of planning and styling a shoot? Well, I'm so glad you asked because we actually have a 4-part series about putting together a whole photo shoot. So you should watch that.
Why is Daniel so strict?
Someone's got to be the adult around here.
Yeah, it's because I'm a child and somebody has to do the important things.
Yeah.
He has to be. It's not his fault, it's mine.
It's not. What additional equipment should a beginner get first? Lenses or lighting? Depends on what you're shooting.
No, for sure you need lenses. You need at least a lens.
Yeah, you can shoot with available light all day long. We do it.
Are you going to do another critiquing your photos video? Nobody watched our last one, so we're not really encouraged to do it, but we got this question a lot.
And we don't really like critiquing photos, honestly.
What camera do you recommend for a beginner?
Whatever you can afford. Honestly, if you have $600, just go get a $600 camera. It's fine. Like they're all pretty similar.
You go in there with $645, you are literally a king.
Okay, the correct and only answer to this question is get what you can afford and then upgrade when you can.
Like upgrade when you feel like it's holding you back.
Oh, can you make a video just about your dog?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that. We made, for his birthday, we took our Super 8 camera and we shot a little birthday vlog for him.
Yeah, it's really cute. You should
And
watch
we'll
it.
throw that in the description with every other video.
What's your bucket shot? We're not quite sure what a bucket shot is, but we did take this photo of a bucket earlier.
That's rich. Should squad fam always be spelled with all caps or normal letters?
It should never be spelled.
Eric.
A young up-and-coming photographer, Jesse Driftwood, asked us, how do you do picture taking?
But if you are genuinely interested, may I ask you to sit with me? And it would be my pleasure, and indeed my privilege, to tell you how to take the perfect photo.
Okay, that's it.
Thanks for watching. We hope this was helpful. We try to answer as many as we could. If you want to get in on the next one, make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram, where we post about this kind of stuff.
Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and tell your friends about us, tell your mom, comment, ring the bell, subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on Instagram, buy our merch.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Is that good?
Yeah, maybe.